What happens when Earth's largest lizard crosses paths with the serpent world's most feared assassin? The Komodo dragon brings brute force, armored skin, and a bite that could cripple a buffalo. The King Cobra? It's not just the world's longest venomous snake. It's a neurotoxic executioner, built for silent strikes and sudden death. One wrestles its prey to the ground. The other ends it with a single precision bite. So in a clash of fang versus muscle, venom versus violence, who really rules the reptile kingdom? Let's find out in this lethal face-off. In the shadowy corners of tropical forests and sun-scorched islands, two reptilian titans reign supreme. The Komodo Dragon, a behemoth of brawn and bacteria-laced. Venom stalks the Indonesian archipelago with raw muscle and bone-crushing jaws. Meanwhile, slithering through Southeast Asia's dense undergrowth, the King Cobra coils with surgical precision, ready to strike with a neurotoxic bite that can take down an elephant. These aren't just animals. They're living weapons, each perfectly adapted to dominate their domain. One is slow, deliberate, and devastating. The other is swift, stealthy, and terrifyingly efficient. And yet fans of both have asked the same question again and again. If these two met in the wild, who walks or slithers away? That's what we're here to find out. In this ultimate reptile face-off, we'll break it down into 3 electrifying rounds. First, we'll stack their stats and size up their evolutionary arsenals. Then we'll dive into their hunting methods and survival strategies because brains often beat brawn. And finally, we'll unleash a hypothetical showdown. No cage, no rules, just instinct and nature at their most brutal. So, who wins in this deadly duel of venom versus viscous muscle? Let's dive in and get primal. Let's talk about muscle versus motion. The Komodo Dragon is a true tank of the reptile world, reaching lengths of up to 10 feet and tipping the scales at 150 to 200 pounds. This lizard isn't just big, it's terrifyingly built. Its thick, muscular limbs and low-slung body give it a bulldozer-like presence. And its bite, that's no casual nibble. With a skull designed for force and serrated teeth made for shredding, a Komodo's jaw can crunch through bone like it's stale bread. Now contrast that with the King Cobra. Yes, it's lighter, rarely topping 20 pounds, but it makes up for that with something the Komodo lacks: agility and reach. The King Cobra can grow up to 18 feet long, making it the longest venomous snake on Earth. When it rises up, flaring its hood and locking eyes with a threat, it commands attention and fear. While it doesn't crush, it pierces, striking with lightning speed and surgical aim. So we've got the heavyweight brawler versus the lightning-fast assassin. One overpowers with brute force and grinding persistence. The other kills with one precise strike. But muscle alone doesn't win every battle. And in nature, the deadliest weapons are often invisible. So let's zoom in and look at what's inside. Because both of these predators are carrying bioweapons far beyond the average reptile's toolkit. The Komodo Dragon's venom is a matter of scientific debate. But what we do know is, you do not want to be bitten. For years, researchers thought its saliva teemed with deadly bacteria, infecting prey until they collapsed days later. But recent studies suggest a more sophisticated system: venom glands that secrete anticoagulants and proteins that lower blood pressure, promoting massive blood loss and shock. It's not as fast-acting as a cobra's venom, but combined with a deep bite and a relentless follow-up, it turns the Komodo into a slow-motion executioner. Now, enter the King Cobra, the chemical sniper. Its venom is packed with powerful neurotoxins that shut down the nervous system. A single strike can kill an adult human in 30 minutes. This isn't a messy process. It's clinical. Paralysis, respiratory failure, cardiac arrest. The Cobra's venom doesn't just injure, it neutralizes. And it delivers that venom with extreme accuracy, thanks to needle-like fangs and an ability to strike multiple times in seconds. So what's more dangerous? A brute force venom system that wears you down with blood loss and trauma, or a biochemical scalpel that turns your body off like a switch? Both are terrifying in their own right, but only one will come out on top when the claws and fangs start flying. Which venom delivery method holds the upper hand in a real fight? Let's find out as we dive into how these cold-blooded killers actually go about the business of taking down prey. Before we put these two cold-blooded killers in a hypothetical arena, we need to understand where they come from, because an animal's environment shapes every instinct, every adaptation, and every move in a fight. The Komodo dragon rules a harsh domain, the arid, sun-scorched volcanic islands of Indonesia. Think jagged rocks, thorny bushes, and bone-dry savannas. This terrain isn't just brutal, it's tailor-made for ambush. Komodos lurk in tall grasses or underbrush, waiting patiently for deer, pigs, or even other Komodos to pass by. With that rugged terrain and their natural camouflage, they don't chase. They explode forward at the perfect moment, bite down, and then let blood loss and fear do the rest. Now picture the King Cobra's realm. Found across India and Southeast Asia, this serpent glides through lush forests, bamboo thickets, rice paddies, and even human settlements. Unlike the Komodo, the cobra uses the environment for stealth and escape. It's not just hiding, it's stalking. Slipping silently through dense undergrowth, the cobra uses its acute senses to find prey while avoiding threats. Its long, lean body gives it agility in cluttered terrain, where speed and reaction time matter more than brute strength. So you've got one predator built for a sun-scorched ambush, and another forged in the shadows of the jungle, relying on slithering stealth. Each thrives in wildly different worlds, raising the question, who adapts better when stripped of their home turf advantage? To find out, we need to look beyond the landscape and into the minds of these predators, their daily behavior, instincts, and combat psychology. Both the Komodo dragon and the King Cobra walk or slither alone. These aren't pack hunters or social reptiles. But their solitary lifestyles don't mean they behave the same way. Komodo dragons are deeply territorial, and frankly, a bit cannibalistic. Juveniles have to scramble up trees to avoid becoming lunch for larger adults. When two males meet, it's not a stare-down, it's a wrestling match. They rise up on hind legs, lock limbs, and try to slam each other to the ground in brutal grapples. These dragons are used to one-on-one duels. They know what it means to fight for dominance, for territory, even for a mate. That territorial instinct is hardwired, and it makes them aggressive, relentless, and not afraid of a little bloodshed. The King Cobra, on the other hand, is a more calculated creature. It's shy by nature and avoids conflict when possible. But don't confuse that with weakness. When cornered, or when its eggs or mate are threatened, it becomes a force of sheer aggression. Raising up to 1/3 of its body off the ground, flaring its hood and letting out a chilling hiss, it becomes the definition of, "Do not mess with me." It will strike fast, hard, and repeatedly. So in a one-on-one duel, who's more mentally prepared? The Komodo, who lives a life of territorial brawls, or the Cobra, whose aggression is explosive and unrelenting when triggered? Let's take this behavioral blueprint and apply it to a more specific arena. How each of these predators actually goes about hunting and surviving in the wild. That's where instincts become tactics. When nature designs a killer, it doesn't hold back. And in the case of the Komodo dragon and the King Cobra, evolution has crafted two predators armed with radically different arsenals. Let's start with the Komodo. This isn't just a lizard, it's a prehistoric tank. Its skin is armored with osteoderms, tiny bone plates embedded beneath the scales, giving it a natural defense against bites and scratches. Good luck sinking teeth into that, but defense is just the beginning. That thick muscular tail isn't for balance alone. It can be whipped like a club to knock over smaller prey or stun rivals in a clash. And when it comes to offense, the Komodo doesn't chase, it creeps. Using stealth, it silently approaches within striking range before unleashing a devastating ambush bite that can leave its victim limping, bleeding, and already doomed. Now, the King Cobra plays a different game. It doesn't rely on brute force, it relies on psychological warfare. That iconic hood, it's not just for show. When the cobra flares its neck, it transforms into something larger, scarier, and more threatening. It's a clear warning. back off, or face the consequences. Its agility allows for lightning-fast strikes, and if the battle isn't in its favor, the Cobra is built to retreat and reposition. It doesn't waste energy. It calculates every move. So, brute armor and blunt force versus bluff, bite. But if it comes to the kill, these two use very different methods. One drawn out and dramatic, the other swift and surgical. Let's break those down. In the hunt, timing is everything, and our contenders take that rule to opposite extremes. The Komodo Dragon is an ambush specialist. It doesn't sprint, it stalks. Camouflaged in the dry brush, it lies in wait until an unsuspecting deer or wild boar wanders too close. Then, in a sudden burst, it lunges forward and clamps down with those serrated teeth. The initial bite doesn't always kill. What follows is the true horror. Its saliva, a bacterial cocktail mixed with mild venom, turns the wound septic, and the victim begins to bleed out slowly. If the prey escapes? No. Problem. The Komodo's keen sense of smell can track a dying animal from miles away. It's a predator with the patience of a hunter and the persistence of a reaper. Now contrast that with the Cobra's method. It's a one-and-done killer. The King Cobra doesn't rely on infection or pursuit. It delivers death with pinpoint precision. With a frontal approach, it launches a rapid strike aimed directly at the nervous system. Its neurotoxic venom shuts down breathing and heart function in minutes. No stalking, no tracking, just one clean, efficient strike. So we've got two master hunters, one who cripples and waits, the other who strikes and walks away. But here's the real question. In a fight not for food but survival, which tactic comes out on top? Let's take these weapons and war strategies to their logical conclusion. An epic, hypothetical showdown between these reptilian titans. Welcome to the ultimate face-off. The Komodo Dragon isn't just a heavy hitter. It's a full-on battering ram of nature's design. Weighing in at up to 200 pounds and stretching 10 feet long, this living relic brings size and power to the battlefield. Its body is low-slung but deceptively agile, and every part is a weapon. Jagged, serrated teeth to shred flesh, a jaw strong enough to crunch through bone, and that thick, muscular tail that doubles as a bludgeon. Think of it as a reptilian wrecking ball, but it's not just raw power, it's how the Komodo uses it. This lizard doesn't need to rush. Its preferred strategy? Strike hard, wound deep, and wait. A single bite releases mild venom mixed with bacteria-laced saliva, creating an open invitation for infection and blood loss. That means even if the enemy escapes, time is still on the Komodo's side. Its natural armor, bony scales known as osteoderms, gives it resilience few predators can match. Add to that an incredible endurance, and you've got a creature that can stalk, wait, and finish what it starts. In a toe-to-toe brawl, the Komodo's staying power is brutal, relentless, and incredibly hard to put down, but speed. That's not its game. Now enter the King Cobra, the sleek serpentine assassin of the forest. This isn't just any snake. It's the longest venomous snake on Earth, stretching up to 18 feet long. But despite its size, the King Cobra is built for precision, not brute strength. Its greatest weapon? That legendary neurotoxic venom. One bite delivers enough toxin to kill an elephant, or take down a Komodo dragon in theory. The venom works fast, paralyzing the nervous system, shutting down muscles, and silencing the heart. And with strike, speeds clocking in at a few milliseconds. The Cobra often lands the first hit before its opponent even realizes what's happening. But the Cobra isn't just about chemical warfare. It's agile, fast, and packed with reflexes that make it almost impossible to catch off guard. When threatened, it flares its iconic hood and rears high into a display of dominance, instinctively disorienting attackers and causing hesitation. That pause? It's all the Cobra needs. And when escape is smarter than combat, the Cobra can vanish into undergrowth with fluid grace. It doesn't brute force its way to victory. It outmaneuvers, outpaces, and outsmarts. So what happens when a bulldozer meets a stiletto? Let's put it to the test. Hard. So our final verdict? The Komodo Dragon takes the crown, thanks to durability, versatility, and raw force. It's not immune to venom, but its bulk and resilience give it the edge in most scenarios. The King Cobra is terrifying, no doubt. But in this matchup, it's just too risky to bet on a single shot. Still, what if the Cobra gets that perfect first strike to the neck? What if the Komodo is a young juvenile with less bulk and armor? That's where you come in. Who would you bet on in nature's deadliest duel? Drop your verdict in the comments and let the debate begin. Because when venom meets muscle, there's no easy answer. So, reptile fans, we've crowned our desert champion. But the wild battles don't stop here. Up next, we're trading scorching sand for murky waters in Crocodile versus Anaconda. Swamp Showdown. Who wins when a prehistoric jaw snap meets a constricting coil strong enough to crack bone? You'll have to dive in with us to find out. Before you go, answer this in the comments. Would you rather face a Komodo dragon in a rocky canyon or a King Cobra hiding in tall grass? Think fast. Both scenarios sound like nightmare fuel, and we're dying to read your survival strategies. If today's duel got your heart racing, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a beastly face-off. We drop new Predator battles every week, and your suggestions fuel the next matchups, so keep them coming.